Hi, a Ramadan Kareem to all of you. May all your prayers are answered and you get lots of good health, lots of wealth, prosperity, and moreover, all the viruses are eradicated from this world. Now, I started this video by showing some pictures to you. These pictures were taken in Africa during a safari in Masai Mara. In this video, I want to take you for a virtual tour to this safari. I've actually remixed the videos and made a fictitious story. I hope you enjoy it. The story is totally fictitious, but the shots are 100% authentic. So let's go to Masai Mara now.
A few years back, we escaped for a safari to Masai Mara, Kenya. A rickety landing in the middle of savanna grasslands reminded me of the movie Jumanji. So as I tell this story, I will even assume what the animals are up to off and on. For instance, this fellow wearing such gaudy colors with Raja Babulo and Bharatnatyam like head movements became so overconfident that he decided to chase that poor girl without even asking her acceptance. So Kabir Singh, isn't it? Camping in forests can be great fun. Only you need to get some privacy from peeping toms who seem to be some sort of police informers in the jungle. Next morning, a family of meerkats came visiting us. We quickly managed to excuse ourselves as we had to take a balloon ride over the grasslands. Flying over the Great Rift Valley and overlooking the grazing and running inhabitants of the forest was breathtaking. As we finally landed, there was a buzz, a murder in the jungle. An elephant had been killed, and the municipality of vultures, hyenas were clearing the mess. Because everyone knew that Major Appu, Chief of Elephants, will not take this lightly, we decided to take a secret route to our camp. But we were not all that lucky. His team had blocked the whole traffic and demanded an immediate investigation in this matter. Two top investigating officers, Mr. Holmes and Watson, from Cheetah Police, were called to look into the matter. After a series of talks with Major Appu and his team, they convinced them to clear the streets with a promise that they will crack the case in no time. We continued our safari onwards, but the whole evidence was pointing towards three lion cubs, Neil, Nitin, and Mukesh, whom seemed to be extremely contented after a big meal. However, it was informed that they ambushed a commando from the wildebeest army, and later Mr. Gabbar from municipality had cleared the mess. Mr. Bagheera testified that he saw all this with his own eyes. Mr. Holmes and Watson decided to visit the tallest family of the forest called Chicago Bulls. But the youngest boy, Michael Jordan, refused to tell anything. The sad thing was, neither the bird sitting on the striped guy, nor the father and the son strolling in the swamp, nor the two princes, Elizabeth and Hurley, wanted to speak a word. One corrupt, frustrated lawyer falsely pointed towards the hippo family, but the cops knew they were innocent. It was gorgeous to see eyes shining from the last rays of the sun on top of Mount Kilimanjaro as we were heading back to our camps. Next morning, as we did a jig with the tribals, the cops decided to carry further their investigation. As we did some jumping with Hakuna and Matata, they planned to talk to Mr. Bolt Ostrich and his wife. However, Mr. Bolt was busy practicing for the upcoming Forest Olympics, and the cops left dejected from there as well. In the meanwhile, the cops decided to ask if Mr. Simba knew any details, but they were shocked to see our car right beside him. Mr. Simba was kind enough to give us some shots, actually in all angles. In the meanwhile, Mr. Holmes and Watson decided to question Mr. Simba's two wives. One of his wives, Shakira, politely asked the sleuths to stay away from the ladies as they wanted to sleep. While Mr. Simba was tired posing for his pictures, he gave us an ultimatum: leave or I shall commit suicide under your car. Of course, we planned to leave immediately, but as soon as we left, the cops arrived. And Simba was done with all this nonsense. Instead of committing a mistake in anger, he decided to keep silent and meditate. Simba's third wife, Jamila, who was busy doing her manicure, suddenly blurted, "I think Simba's new girlfriend Katrina could have done it." After being threatened by Simba, we were heading back to our camp. And all of a sudden, we saw the most popular lioness, Katrina, catwalking in the forest. She crossed us and went straight to her kids to enjoy some dinner. Mr. Holmes figured that Katrina had a family and a successful career. She will never do such a thing. But no one noticed. There was one lone lioness of the ravines, Poolan. She had been quietly watching all moves of these cops as well as us. Was Poolan the killer? Was the case solved after, or the cops just shut it down? Why were those deers running in that evening? Did they know something? Was Major Appu's team pacified after? So many questions were left unanswered, as it was our time to head back to Dubai. But I'm sure the law of the jungle would have done its own justice, and what happens in the jungle stays in the jungle.